On the next episode of the Wise Counsel Project, we interview Charlie Ward, former Heisman Trophy winner with Florida State and NBA player. Join us as Charlie provides wise counsel to men and women of faith. Welcome to the Wise Counsel Project. I'm joined now by 1993 Heisman Trophy winner, former Florida State quarterback, and the only Heisman Trophy winner to play in the NBA.
Yes, sir.
And the head football coach of my alma mater, Booker T. Washington High School in Pensacola. Yes. Charlie Ward, thank you for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
And just curious if my records still stand from my time playing down there.
I'll have to
You
check.
don't know, do you?
I definitely have to check.
All right. Well, if you ever need a motivational speaker for the guys, I can tell them how not to do stuff. So,
Okay.
so you let me know. Well, thank you for being here. The Wise Counsel Project is based off of Proverbs 13:20. If you don't mind, Charlie, would love to get you to read that and would ask what the verse means to you, if you would.
Oh, it says, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm.
What does that mean to you?
Well, good company, the company that you keep, you can learn a lot from, and also having wise people around you, guidance, coaches, family members, whomever it may be, because all the times we sit around the table with our grandparents or our parents, and they're sharing different things, and that depending upon the stage of life that we're in, we may see it as getting on us, but it's wisdom. And I think I'm in a stage now where sharing with our athletes, just them understanding, the importance of having the right people around you, and also giving them godly wisdom. Being in a public school, you can't use the Bible per se, but you can talk about principles, which this is a life principle.
And let me ask you about that. I know you left a private Christian school in Texas to come again to the public school, Booker T. Washington in Pensacola. Are there challenges that you face because of the inability to bring the Bible in? How do you reinforce some of the biblical principles with these guys with those limitations?
Well, my wife's got on to me. I've taken some of the information that I've had from my old school and imparted into where I am today. Kind of on accident, but not on accident in some form. Taking off scripture and those types of things, just using biblical principles. And that's basically what I do. I use the biblical principles to help teach our guys, and everything that we do has spiritual overtone. And the parents are enjoying it because from what I hear, in the past, it was different, which, it's a positive whenever you're different. And that's what I've been expressing to our coaches is we want to be different. We want to do things differently than all the other coaches are doing, just so we can, and what I mean by being different is just doing the right things. We're not perfect. We're going to have issues that we have to deal with, but, humility cures a lot of things.
What is your greatest challenge working with kids today, trying to motivate them to be all they can be?
I don't think it's any different than when we were growing up. Kids are kids. They have the same challenges that we had. It's just a little bit more magnified. So I don't think, from the standpoint of trying to motivate a kid, some are more motivated than others. And you have to prod and do all the different things that our parents did and our coaches did. So, and then you have kids that are truly motivated, and you don't have to do very much to them outside of just help guide them. But I just think the kids today, it's really no different than when we were growing up. I mean, the times have changed. Kids are a little bit more open when it comes to their thoughts, and they share those thoughts. And we just have to, allow them to share their feelings, but understand that they have to be respectful and anyway.
You played for a legend, obviously, at Florida State, and Coach Bobby Bowden. What kind of wise counsel did he give to you while you were playing there?
Well, Coach Bowden, I mean, he was more of a guy that, I mean, he shared his faith, which was a testament because he's at a state university.
Sure.
And he wasn't ashamed, and it was very helpful for us because he took us to church, 2 different churches, and the only person that I know that had an issue was one of my teammates who was Muslim, and he gave him the option, to go and or not to come. I'm sure he ran into some more of that, later on, but during my stint, my 5 years, I think he may have been the only one that didn't choose to go. But, just the way he lived his life on a day-to-day basis was very encouraging. And when he spoke and he lived, it made it a lot easier to follow.
Mm-hmm. Modeling great behavior for you and the other players for sure. Is that something that you try to do with the players now?
Well, that's our ultimate goal, is to model the behavior for the kids so that we can be role models. Because regardless of what happens, we want to make sure that we're doing the same things. I know when we were growing up, sometimes the parents would tell us to do one thing, and they may do something.
Yeah.
They may do something opposite. However, in today's society, we have to make sure that we're being the role models for the kids. If we're asking them to do whatever it may be, we have to make sure that we're living it out as well, because they're going to model what we do.
You're in great shape, but your playing days are over, and now you put on the coach's whistle. But when that's done, when all's said and done, Charlie, what do you want your legacy to be?
Oh, I just want to be remembered as a guy who cared for people and, went out and about his business and had fun, but also, had a purpose. And that purpose was to be an example and be a light to those that may be in darkness, and, just give them an opportunity to have a relationship with the Lord, and understand that there is an opponent once you become on the Lord's team. So it's a bit of a challenge, but I really feel like God has called me to work with high school kids. Eventually, I'm sure I'll end up in college somewhere, but I'm still making that part a part of my, not daily, but mentoring, Jameis Winston and a lot of other college guys that'll listen.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just grateful that I have an opportunity to be able to share what I've learned and all the mistakes that I've made, to be able to help those guys.
So much is learned, not just from the successes, but from those mistakes.
Correct. Failure is always a great teacher. Just like one of my kids last night threw an interception, and I'm very aware of throwing an interception during my days. But it was a great learning experience for him, and we get on them, but we also talk to them about, it's a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
And we also learn from the good as well, so that we can continue to improve.
Well, you're definitely walking the walk and making a difference out there, and I really appreciate your time and Wise Counsel here. So thanks for being with us.
I appreciate you having me on.
All right, Charlie. All the best.
Alrighty.
God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Wise Counsel Project. If you enjoyed it, please consider rating us on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher Radio. And for more information about the Wise Counsel Project, visit us on the web, wisecounselproject.com. You can also follow me on Twitter @Gary Martin Hayes. Thanks for listening, and God bless.